He's an artist who's done more with color than any other in painting.
Julian's satisfied to endlessly explore what you can do with color and line.
Wavelength, the colorant. I'm surrounded by it. And I said, this is beautiful. I was born in Poland. My art has nothing to do with the past directly. Indirectly, yes, it shaped me who I am. I wanted to be a cellist. Lost the use of my right arm and I'm right-handed. It was a total frustration and devastation of my life. So I ran away from the place. I went to Russia, joined the army. I was 14. I lied that I was 17. That was too difficult, so I went. Joined a group of refugees running away from war. Going to Africa was a very beautiful place. I didn't know I will stay 7 years. And I was trying to get used to the fact that I can do things with my left only. Everybody would tell me I will never make it. So I was trying to train my arm so it would behave. Drawing and trying to register the beauty of the nature. Somebody just looked at my efforts by the name of Henrik Frudist. He was an artist in a refugee camp, and he gave me a couple of lessons. The war ended, so I got 5 years of labor camp, and I stayed only 2 years. So I decided to see whether I can join the family in America. Came to Cleveland, looking for a job, no jobs. Inspiration, I found a lot of it right here. Museum, marvelous presentations. Symphony orchestra. There was a school institute, art institute.
Julian Stanczak was one of my favorite students and was so eager to learn. When he left us, he went to Yale and studied with Albers.
I was enjoying the color and I wanted to know more about it. And nobody answered my questions. So I heard Albers is an expert in the area. Where is he teaching? Up at Yale. So I go to Yale.
He learned so much about color, it was unbelievable. And the rest of his life, he's been able to say everything he wants through color and line, creating the spaces he wants and the tempo he wants and so forth, and the mood that he wants in those paintings.
Color interaction leads to ideas about transparency, which are, again, are kind of phenomena, almost illusions of one color floating, mixing with another, floating in front of a light that's behind it. He can do a lot with the canvas in terms of space and light emanating from the piece. And if there's anything I think that Stanczak really has in common with Albers, it's abilities to summon light and space from color.
The art scene in Cleveland became a much livelier place about the same time that Julian came back to the Institute of Art. Really created a lot of excitement. Julian was a very fine chair of the painting department. Students had a high regard for what he had to say.
I was a student. He had this aura of the wise man, or something mysterious. There is something more. Extremely strict, extremely demanding. And as a student, he sort of, I think, took me under his wing because I was a foreigner in a foreign land. So he was my big protector, and that developed into a love affair.
As artists we've met at a young age, kind of evolved in their own way. Julian is a painter, Barbara is a sculptor primarily, but they both share that same sort of passion for teaching as well as for making art. They're each other's biggest supporter, I think, and I don't think one could have accomplished what they did without the other.
I took care of the family, the house, the garden, the business, the exhibitions, the curating. I have two good hands. At least I can do what needs to be done to free him to do the painting.
I was thrilled to death when I saw his show, the first op show in New York.
I came to New York to see the show for the opening. I walked to the Martha Jackson's gallery. On the window it says, Julian Stanczak, optical paintings. I said, oh my God, where did you get that? I saw Martha and I said, Martha, how can you say optical? My work is optical. Hey, Julian, this is something for the art critics to chew on.
Well, op art is a PR term in a way. It's something that the press glommed onto to be able to talk about it. It was something very easy for people to kind of remember and understand.
Optical? I open my eyes, everything is optical. How do I know I see it?
It's not just because of op reaction, it's because of the psychological reaction that it has on your whole system and on your psyche, and how you can deal with it.
Op art is a useful term in being able to think about the commonalities between these artists. Perceptual art is definitely a more specific term for what these artists were doing. They're making the viewer the subject of the work. And this is really a radical change from abstract expressionism or even minimalism or pop, that what they're trying to do is set up circumstances that really make you more aware of your own perceptual processes. And that's visual, it's psychological, it's physiological too, when you're dealing with color and some of these things that artists were dealing with. And that's the importance of it historically, is that it led to a viewer-centered experience.
Julian has this incredible understanding of exactly what color will do one with another, dependent again on size, how close they are together, how the lines are related, and he paints what's in his head. And how could you possibly have all that in your head? And yet his head has got to make the moves that he makes on the canvas. And the idea that there's anything spontaneous about that, it's deep thought. But he sees this way. It's almost like it became a private language for him, but it's one we can all read.
I would put a painting with an empty canvas in front of me, standing, lay down on my couch, and close my eyes, and open my eyes and look at the canvas. Oh, it goes this way. Close my eyes, try to fall asleep, open my eyes, canvas goes that way. So what kind of divisions do I do?
We invented, together with my uncle, a machine where he can cut any measure, 60th or 64th of an inch, just the tiniest little measure. And he has several different kinds of tape, and he cuts it to the proportions that he envisioned. He does his mixing first. Sometimes there are 140 or more baby food jars filled with paint. So with one taping, he gets 30 different results.
And when you look at Julian's work, especially very close up, and you see the overlay of line and color and the juxtaposition, it's very subtle and it's very elaborate. There's nothing simple about it.
He brings all of us to a new vision and a new experience. He has a capability and a sensitivity of the eye that is absolutely amazing, enriching.
I think Julian Stanczak is indisputably the great colorist of the second half of the 20th century and beyond. Talking about your legacy, and not just the work you did, but the work you inspire, Julian certainly counts as a master in that regard.